What's going on, everybody? Hope you're having a good week so far. So today I wanted to talk about the elephant in the room. I wanted to talk about ROG Ally versus Steam Deck, but not in the way you think. I mainly play my ROG Ally handheld, while when I had a Steam Deck, I mainly played that docked. I rarely play the Steam Deck handheld, and I'm going to tell you why. Now, I rarely dock my ROG Ally, and that's just a fact. In the past 3 months, I've only docked my ROG Ally 3 times. That's only 3 days out of about 60 days. Now, this is very strange to me because when I had a Nintendo Switch and a Steam Deck, I mainly docked the system to either my TV or my portable display. And I finally figured out exactly why I did that. And it's pretty much because of resolution, features, and just how comfortable it was to use the handheld in general. Now, of course, the Steam Deck is a very comfortable device to use, but it is heavier than the ROG Ally. And the Nintendo Switch is lighter than a Steam Deck, but it is nowhere as comfortable as a Steam Deck. In fact, it's a very uncomfortable handheld to use, so I usually just docked that system and just played with a Pro controller. But for the most part, when I docked my Nintendo Switch, it wasn't because of comfort, it was mainly because of resolution. And the same goes for the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck houses a 720p IPS screen. And of course, the Steam Deck OLED is also 720p, just like with the Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo Switch OLED. They're both a lower resolution because a 720p panel wastes a lot less energy than a 1080p panel. So that gives you a lot more battery on the go. And of course, you won't notice all of the graphical downgrades that the Nintendo Switch has, opposed to something like PC gaming. But I come from PC gaming since I was 14 years old. Abandoning consoles was something very early in my life. I remember when I was only 8 years old and I was playing Resident Evil 2 on a Windows 95 computer. And of course, I had a PlayStation 1, Sega Saturn, all of those options, but I decided to play on PC. And it's mainly because PC at the time had better resolution and it was 60 FPS opposed to its PlayStation and Sega Saturn counterparts. So naturally, when I got a Steam Deck after a Nintendo Switch, I was a little disappointed because of the resolution that the Steam Deck had. Of course, there were a lot more details and you could play at a higher FPS on average, but the resolution was still lacking, similar to a Nintendo Switch. So when I finally bought myself an ROG Ally, I could finally play the games that I wanted at 1080p, but it wasn't only the 1080p that got me. It was the fact that there was a VRR added to the screen as an official feature, and that means that it has variable refresh rate, which means you don't need any VSync whatsoever, and you don't have to worry about frame rate anymore. Everything just plays smooth naturally. So because of that, but especially the resolution, I just found myself naturally gravitating to a handheld experience opposed to a docked experience. And that is nowhere near like the experiences I had with a Nintendo Switch and a Steam Deck. Of course, visuals aren't everything, but visibility when it comes to first-person shooters, strategy games, racing games is everything to me, especially when it comes to racing games. So naturally, while playing a Nintendo Switch and a Steam Deck, I wanted more because I finally got that definitive 1080p resolution on the ROG Ally. I didn't see a docked experience as necessary anymore. Even though my Asus Strix portable monitor has a battery, VRR, and 1080p along with 144 Hz, I don't really care about the extra 20 FPS. I don't see that as a big difference, or not big enough to switch to it. My portable screen is just sitting there while I play my ROG Ally portably with VRR 120 FPS at 1080p. And that's why I saw a power bank as a better option opposed to tethering to a wall and just using my outlet. It's mainly because I want that full portable option if I have to. If I have to adjust where I want to play my games, if I want to go on the couch, my computer desk, yada, 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 I can do that. It's about what you can do. And with the ROG Ally, I can get the definitive gaming experience I've always wanted, truly and ultimately on the go. Do I see myself gravitating to 4K? Maybe. If the battery's good enough and the chip is good enough in the handheld, then possibly I will be playing in 4K. But in my opinion, there are a lot of difficulties with 4K gaming and aspect ratios. So for right now, I don't think 4K is ready when it comes to handheld gaming. I think that's just going to make it slightly more difficult for barely any upgrade whatsoever. And of course, a lot of people out there see 1080p as being not as big of a jump as they would want from 720p. So sometimes they go straight to 1440p. I think 1440p would be perfect if I were to really want everything. But for right now, 1080p looks like like 4K on a handheld. That's the exact resolution that I'm used to playing on a PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, and of course a PlayStation 5 for the most part. And even with all of the laptops that I've owned in the past, most of them, if not all of them, have been 1080p. So I just see that as the ultimate resolution and the main reason I rarely play my ROG Ally docked. While I played the Steam Deck docked 90% of the time because that portable monitor and screen had that desired resolution that I wanted so bad for the Steam Deck and especially the Nintendo Switch. Imagine how different it would be gaming on a Nintendo Switch if it had a 1080p screen on it. Nobody would be gravitating towards a Steam Deck or an ROG Ally or Legion Go or MSI Claw. Most likely everybody, or 99% of everyone, would be satisfied with a Nintendo Switch if they just added a 1080p resolution and panel to their current Nintendo Switch model. But they don't, because it's cheaper and they want it to last longer. And mostly because it's cheaper. I think Asus pulled off all the stops with the ROG Ally. They didn't give us anything that we didn't want, and they didn't sacrifice any features that we desperately needed. I think having VRR with that 1080p screen is absolutely perfect. Most of the time when I play my games, there's nothing I can complain about. And I'm a real stickler when it comes to resolution, quality, and performance when it comes to my handhelds. And the first time I got an ROG Ally, it was an extremely terrible experience that I thought the ROG Ally would never live down. And I was super critical of the device the first time I played it. For the very first 2 months, I was extremely critical of it. But even so, I feel like the ROG Ally is perfect. Now, of course, it could have a better battery life, but for what it could do, it surpasses any expectations when it comes to battery that I've ever had and I ever thought I would have in the next 10 or even 20 years. I didn't think that handhelds would even get up to this point, let alone to the point that the Steam Deck was up to, but I did desperately want a 1080p panel with the Steam Deck. And so that's why I almost never played it fully portable. I had my Steam Deck plugged in all the time, even though Valve boasted that you will have the same exact performance plugged in that you will portable. Now that's a good thing, but I've grown to know and notice that it is not a completely positive thing. There is a lot of performance, quality, and resolution to be desired with the Steam Deck. And all of those wants and needs that I had with the performance and quality with the Steam Deck has been passed over to the ROG Ally, and that has fully satisfied my wants and needs to the point I am never looking back, and I don't even think I need to look forward. If this is the last handheld that I'll ever use, I'll be completely happy. I don't need any kind of fancy UI to make things easier most of the time. Sometimes I do look back at the Steam Deck and I think, oh boy, those days of just clicking and playing what I want were really the days and the good old times. But for the most part, I want all of those options and accessibility that Windows provides to me because I'm just used to using that OS and getting whatever I truly want on that OS without any limitations. And I personally prefer Windows, but of course a lot of people use that as an excuse. But what really pushed me to fully enjoying and taking advantage of the ROG Ally for what it offers is its quality and performance. I think the quality is better than Steam Deck without a doubt, and its performance is 2 times more powerful than the Steam Deck at the very minimum. So yeah, that's why I pretty much rarely dock my ROG Ally. It's not because of any kind of negative annotation. It's mainly because it can do everything that I've wanted a docked game to do. If I want the screen to look bigger, I just need to put the screen closer to my face. That's pretty much it. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are when it comes to docking an ROG Ally. Do you dock your ROG Ally much? Or do you mainly play it portable like I do because of the sweet VRR screen, 1080p graphics, and the 120 FPS? Because I pretty much see those things as playing your favorite video games without any type of limits. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you have a good one. Later.